This is something
I
I
am a
struggled with for over
17-year-old girl.
17 years, and I needed to post this video
And
for
I've
every one of you to
struggled
watch.
with
In this
pornography
video, the earlier same
and
parts of Chris
masturbation for
Kilomet,
many
DSC,
years.
DSC, DD. It's gonna be
It
talking
started
about
when I was
masturbation,
8
and it's
years
gonna be
old.
telling you that masturbation is not a sin.
Despite my
So I don't
efforts,
want to say much. So
I
please, you
am
do. If you are
often
new, please do
lured back
subscribe to
to
the
those
channel and
materials.
hit the notification bell
Please
for more
help me.
videos. Please watch the rest of the
I need
video.
to completely rid myself. I am a 17-year-old girl, and I've struggled with pornography and masturbation for many years. It started when I was 8 years old. Despite my efforts, I am often lured back to those materials. Please help me. I need to completely rid myself of this spirit of masturbation and pornography. Thank you so much, sir, for your support and counsel. Beautiful. Now, I might add a couple of things to this. Let's look at stages of growth in life. As a child, at a certain stage, you were developing your sense of sight. And you would try to focus. You'd find a child looking, staring. What's that child doing? Exercising the sense of sight. He feels he's seeing something and is trying to make sense of it and keeps looking. And by doing that over and over, gradually the sense of sight develops. Then you have some children at a certain stage when they start discovering they can walk, they want to run. And the moment they start running, some children can't be held back. They run all the time. They're excited about the newfound ability. See, they discover they not only can walk, they can run. So they're running all the time, running excited, running, laughing all the time. But not all the children of the same age do exactly the same thing. Why? Some are more fascinated by other senses that they are discovering. So as they grow, they find new things about themselves. At a stage, a child is fed. But that child starts discovering he can use his hands to pick something and put in his mouth. Before then, he couldn't. Now he can pick something and put in his mouth. So what does he do? Everything he finds, he puts in his mouth. He's excited. He's discovered something new. Like, I can feed myself. But he doesn't have the maturity to distinguish between what should be eaten and what should not be eaten. He takes anything and puts in his mouth. He's exercising his newfound ability. The same thing as they grow, they come to the age of puberty and they start discovering different things about themselves. And even before that age, which some would take as probably 12 somewhere, some would say 13, but even before you discover the physical part, there's a sensual part that a child starts discovering early. maybe as early as 8. And then this masturbation creeps in. Getting yourself excited sensually. Sensually. It could start from different forms. In her case, it might have started from certain materials she was seeing. And in our day, you see so much on billboards, on TV, magazines, and now in school, they're teaching them some horrible things. So it seems like it even starts earlier. But no matter how early they're introduced to those things, until those sensual parts of their body and their minds are awakened within them, those things make no much sense. It is not a sin. But when it becomes a habit, something that you recline to, every so often you have to get in your privacy and you have to do that because that helps you calm down, then you're bringing yourself into some bondage. You're bringing yourself into some kind of bondage. And you have to be very careful because it's like you're going astray. The second part is worse in the fact that it has a lustful part to it. And where the sin is the lust, not in the act of the masturbation itself. It's in the lust. It's in the imagination that you're creating. That's where the sin is. So one is the tendency to make a habit of it, which will be a dirty habit. And that's why you always feel bad. Not because you sinned against God. Now, Satan understands this because he's dealt with human beings for so long. He knows you're going to feel bad. So he helps you make it a habit. Then, because it always brings you into a position of condemnation, he knows you become ineffective spiritually. But you have to first disarm him with the knowledge of the fact that in itself it is not a sin. But you can't continue doing that to get some form of physical enjoyment. You see it? So that's where you are creating a habit that's not going to be helpful to you. Just because you're hungry, you feel hungry, doesn't mean you have to eat. This is something you have to, we all understand this. Well, maybe some don't, but generally it's something that we have to know. You don't eat because you feel hungry. You eat when you should. When you're a child, as a baby, every time you cry out, mommy puts something into your mouth. See, because babies do two things, sleep and eat. They wake up and they cry, ah! And you feed them, then they go back to sleep. But then the stages change. When mommy says, no, she's not hungry because she just ate, not hungry. I fed her a moment ago, but she's crying. So mommy knows not every cry is because of hunger, because this child is now at a certain stage where she could cry for something else. Maybe there's pain, maybe there's discomfort, something. So mom is trying to find out what it is. But prior to that stage, it was food. Because at the stage of a baby, you can't overfeed the baby. When the baby is full, he'll throw everything up. It's like, stop, stick out his tongue and stop you from putting anything in. It's full, till next time. See? So, same way, hunger is no instruction for food, because it's a feeling. Maturity helps you understand that just because you're hungry doesn't mean go and eat. Now, you have some people who just don't feel hungry, but they have to eat. So I don't feel hungry. And then we say, you don't eat because you're hungry, because you may never feel hungry. Some people always feel hungry. Must they always eat? No. And those who never feel hungry should never eat? No. You eat when you should. You start learning when you should. So when should I becomes the point. See, that's part of maturity. Maturity. So that's the way you deal with your body. You don't give your body everything it craves. You don't. Your body has senses. And your soul has its own senses. Now, the word soul is sometimes applied to the inward man as a whole. That means your human spirit. Okay? So your spirit has spiritual senses, just as your body has senses. So you don't give your body everything its senses are demanding. Neither do you give to your soul everything its senses demand. So just because you're thinking in a certain way doesn't mean accept the thought. Or because it came to me, the thought came to me. No, you guard your mind. See, you have to protect your senses also. You don't let your senses control you. So that's what you do to masturbation. So just remember, especially that second part of it, where it's masturbation based on lust. Masturbation that's based on lust is very destructive because of its mental part, which is the lustful part. Can make you do things you should never do. All right. So, Angela, number one, don't let the devil accuse you anymore. You say it's normal for someone of your age to feel that way. But don't allow it now control you. You don't have to yield to it. See, you don't have to yield to it. And one of the best ways, like what they were sharing with you, is from your mind. You've got to use your mind. See, if you, let's put it this way. Imagine that you were studying for an exam. Because sometimes there are people who think like, I can control this, but they can control so many other things. If you had an exam and you were studying for your exam, it's unlikely that you would pick up a pornographic magazine at the same time, because you're pressured for your exam. So you say, I'm not going to look at these materials for now because I've got something to attend to. You have life's exams. The pornographic materials are not right for Christians. Why? Because those things were created by people who want to bring you into bondage. Then you find a bondage like masturbation. See, it becomes a bondage. It becomes a controlling habit. Because Satan drags you into it until you can't free yourself anymore. You want to stop it and you can't stop it. And then it's very easy to get on the internet and find yourself some pornographic websites. And that's a terrible thing because these are websites that often are dedicated to demons. And there's where many people receive demonic influences from. So a Christian should not use pornographic materials. Don't use them. In fact, make it for yourself as a rule. Don't use them. Don't keep them. So you have to be wise with that. Same thing with films. There are pornographic films. Those are not things that Christians should enjoy. Think about it. Even animals don't like to show their nakedness. Even animals. Have you ever seen how monkeys behave? So, why do human beings like to show their nakedness on camera? It's foolishness. It's foolishness. It's not normal. It's not normal. And we shouldn't encourage them to do it. We shouldn't encourage them by patronizing them. So your refusal to watching their films and using their magazines or visiting their sites is a good way to protest against their bad behavior.